super entertaining Sunday, we should say. One game left of this match week, but let's run you through what we've seen so far. It all started with that goalless draw between Liverpool and Chelsea. There were draws at Bournemouth and at Leicester. Unai Emery picking up his 5th win in 7 in charge of Villa away to Southampton. West Ham picked up a much-needed win to increase the pressure on Everton and their manager Frank Lampard. No goals between Palace and Newcastle. The Magpies are unbeaten in 15, which is a club record for them. As far as today's concerned, another goalless draw, this time between Leeds and Brentford. Erling Haaland got his 4th hat-trick of the season to take his tally to 25 in Manchester City's 3-0 win over Wolves. We've just seen a classic between Arsenal and Manchester United, with the Gunners winning it in the 90th minute through Eddie and Nketiah, and the remaining game of this match week to come from Craven Cottage. It's a London derby between Fulham and Tottenham. So Arsenal restore their 5-point advantage at the top of the table with a game in hand. They're on 50 points from 19 games, as I mentioned earlier. They're at the halfway stage, so on course to make it 100 points, which is a Premier League record. There's still plenty of football to be played between now and the end of the season. Manchester City is second. Then it's Newcastle, who are third on goal difference on 39 points, ahead of Manchester United. Then there's a 6-point gap to Tottenham. And then you've got Brighton just outside the top 5, with Fulham 7th, Liverpool and Chelsea, just look at them, ending this match week 10 points shy of the top 4. At the other end, Southampton are joined in the relegation zone by Everton and Bournemouth. Wolves are above the relegation zone on goal difference. West Ham are a point clear, as are Leeds and Leicester, followed by Forest, Palace and Villa.
Better than that, after the derby away, to come here against this team and play the way we played against, the performance that we had all over the game, and especially in the second half, it was incredible. And to win it in that way, it just makes it even better.
What brought you the win?
I think mentally and emotionally we were really composed, but really determined at the same time. And we managed those moments in the game really well. We never panicked. We kept believing. We kept doing the same things, even better than before. And we always believed that at the end we could win it.
Particularly in that last 20 minutes you referred to, Jamie Redknapp just in their studio, they didn't panic, stay calm, didn't start lumping the balls in the box, just believed in what they do and played their football.
Exactly, and we showed the right composure in the box in many occasions, but the ball didn't go in, and we're fortunate enough in the last action almost that we managed to win the game.
Given that they took lead, did we see your side's personality and character as well today?
100%, because it's a team, especially when they go in front, that is extremely difficult to play. They don't need much to create chances. They love to have spaces to attack, and the moment that you start to be playing in longer distance, it starts to give the ball away, don't finish the actions in the final set. They really punish you, but I think we handled that really well.
Was it a big test for you today as well, particularly the manner of the game? You've only got a couple of title winners in your whole squad, so it's how they reacted. Is that one of the things that you are clearly overjoyed about?
You can talk about maturity, as it was about the belief, but then you have to show the quality as well, and the perseverance to keep going and emotionally be relaxed and confident that we can do it, and we're taking the game where we wanted. And I'm delighted. The boys really deserve it, and thank you to the crowd, because it was an incredible evening to live with them.
You say the boys relaxed. Were you two a bit intense? Can you complain about your yellow card that you received?
I don't think so.
You need to learn a little bit from that?
You can always get better in life, innit?
When you look at the halfway point now, oh, by the way, sorry, what was your heart like in your mouth when it went to VAR at the end?
Yeah, we experienced something similar when we played Newcastle here in the last minute with the penalty, and today went our way, so very relief and very emotional.
Also, what about the quality? One player in particular today, Bukayo Saka.
I think everywhere. I wouldn't like to talk about individually. I think we showed a lot of personality, especially with the ball in big moments, to take the ball and make things happen. And I love that. They are really young, but they are going to that stage now. They are confident to do it.
You say game by game, or even training by training, but now that's 50 points at the halfway stage. What's your assessment of that, and the fact that that is the best ever start Arsenal have ever made to the league?
Well, it's great, and I think we deserve where we are because of the way we are playing, but don't get confused. It's about what we do tonight and tomorrow, and still, there's a lot of things that we can do much better, so we have big margins.
The simple thing is just to keep doing what you're doing, but as you well know, the pressure comes with where you are.
Yeah, but every week we've been talking about pressure for the last 12 or 13 games, but in the Premier League it's so difficult to win. The margins are so small, every team is really well equipped and they're going to make life very difficult for you. We know that and we have to prepare every single day for that.
Is that more difficult with young players?
I don't know. For me it's a joy to work with this group of players, whether they are young or old, it doesn't really matter.
Bookmakers make you favourites to win the title. Do you agree with them?
I have no clue. We never won it. We are half through the season. There are other teams with much bigger squad and squad they have already won a lot. So let's go day by day.
Lastly, you had Trossard on the pitch. Kivior up in the stands as well. How important were acquisitions in January to give you greater strength in depth?
Well, just in terms of number, there were moments we have 15, 16 outfield players, and obviously it wasn't enough. And they're going to help us. Leo already helped us a lot today. You showed how composed, how calm and how confident he was when he came on the pitch, and he helped us to win the game.
Well done, Mikel.
David, it's a shame there has to be a losing team today. What are your overall thoughts?
I think it's a good summary. I think it was a great game, a lot of tempo in the game. I think the audience is the big winner of this game, two top teams. But yeah, a final. As of course, we are disappointed when you lose this game, and then especially in a really late stage of the game. And yeah, it can't happen. So I think all the goals we concede today, our mistakes can't happen.
Can't happen? How do you stop it happening? What do you do to prevent it?
I think we were a period, I just said in the dressing room, we were better in this. Even last week, we were so hard to beat in such situations, and today we were not. If you see the 3 goals, I think they are all, we could avoid them.
It looked at times at the back, because of the pace of the game, slightly chaotic in defence. Is there anything you can do to stop Arsenal when they're playing like that?
They are very good on the ball, and but we are a good defending team as well. And I think there were not a lot of open chances. And what I say, the first 2 goals, starting with the corner, and we're making mistakes. We can't make them. And I said before, this game will decide by details, and there was also small details, but then final was also the decision maker in the game. And that is hard to accept, but we have to accept today, and we have to learn from it.
That's the downside of it. Tell us the positives. You've just run the league leaders very, very close.
Clear, but I don't want to think about it. I want to win, and so it's not good enough. And we want to be the number 1, and so if we make mistakes, we have to be clear.
Victory today, what it meant for him and the team. What did you make of that interview?
Yeah, it's fine. I like his interviews. I like the way he is. Mikel's not changed from the time he's been there. To change from people's point of view is the fact that they feel like he's too animated in the box. But he's always been like that. But now he's top of the league, so it's something else. It's something else that they could try and heap on in respects of the pressure on the manager now that he's got a yellow card. He's asked him there about the yellow card. He's got a yellow card, but he's a very passionate man. If Conte started to win the league, and it might not happen for a while at Spurs, I've got to say that, but at the same time, people probably start talking about his antics. But it's only because he's at the top of the league, people are now noticing it even more now. He's always been doing that.
You thought he was going to give it to Nketiah for a second, didn't you? But what a performance from that young man.
Well, which one?
Actually, Saka.
Yeah, well, again, he's come up with a goods for Arsenal. And the way he's playing consistently. And I think that's a good thing now with Trossard coming in there as well. You know, he's got somebody that if need be, he can get a break, because I think he's going to need one at some stage, because he's going full tilt since he's been in that first team. Yeah. And his standards are very, very high, and he never drops beneath those standards.
Yeah, there is clearly momentum here. And this result merely enhances, that confident nature behind some of these young players. I mean, they are maturing at a great speed right now.
Yep, I think you said it there. They're a confident bunch of players. They're playing well, and why wouldn't you be? They're going into every game expecting to win, expecting to perform. I actually thought Luke Shaw did okay against Saka for a while, but you give players like that just one little bit of space, and they can produce pieces of magic like they did, like Marcus did for Man United. But Arsenal a real role now, very early, as we say, halfway through. Manchester City, I think, will have something to say to it, but Arsenal can't do much more than they're doing now.
It was that approach in the last 20 minutes that stood out particularly, Ian. Arsenal weren't willing to sit on a 2-2. That game was there for them to go and grab by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're at home and you're at the top of the league.
Yeah.
You know what it means. You've just seen your rivals bring it back down to 2 points. And so you've got to be going for it at that stage of the season. That stage of the game, you can't be backing off there. You've got to keep them under pressure. The problem United had is that they weren't able to get on the ball and kind of manage the game and suck Arsenal on and maybe catch Arsenal on the break. That's the problem with United had. They couldn't get Arsenal off them. And Arsenal probably recognised that and just kept the pressure on. And in the end, it paid off.
Do you think when Fred came on, and they were playing in an almost double pivot, right, with Scott McTominay, just to shore it up, playing for the draw, that almost gave Arsenal a bit more confidence to know that, you know, this is an opposition holding on to what they're trying to have right now.
Yeah, but you have to remember going to Arsenal is a tough place to go, and especially against a team that are in full confidence, they're flowing, players really thinking they're going to win every single game. It's tough. United did try and play on the counter-attack a little bit, but they never had that real goal threat that you'd expect on the counter. I keep saying other than Marcus.
Yeah.
I thought Garnacho would have been a bit more of a positive substitute. You go there and win the game, and it's a different story. But from an Arsenal point of view, where you're going for the league, winning them games at home against your rivals is massive.
I think
don't get me wrong, I don't think United are going for the league anyway. I said that before the game. I think top 4 they're settled for. But with the teams getting a bit closer to them, Arsenal might get a bit nervy if they lose that game today. But now their attitude and their confidence is much higher going through and winning that game.
It's the kind of game against the kind of opposition where they, at home, they have to show that they're capable of winning and keeping a team like that under pressure. And that's what they've done today. It's another little test, because there'll be a load more. It's another little test that you have to say today they've passed.
Yeah, let's have a look at the crucial moment. 90 minutes on the clock. Arsenal, as I mentioned already, were really asking a few questions of the United defence, and in the end the pressure told Ian.
It did. It was a good cross here, but that was the one. And Eddie's just in his room there. You know, it's like the first goal he scored. You know, he's in the place and he works very well in there. Like he said, he felt like he was onside because he could see, he was aware of Martinez, and he just needs to get something on it. And that is what you want as a striker, to see Wan-Bissaka there, just keeping him on. But as a striker, you want to be in there, and those little touches are what's vitally important, and he got it. Because, like he said, De Gea made an unbelievable save to his left foot swivel. That's just enough, that touch there, because he's in the right place.
That's one of your goals. I
love that.
Yeah, that's a poacher's finish, right?
Instinct,
Instinct,
being in the right place at the right time. That's what they're doing. I've been so impressed with him since he's come in for Jesus. I think it'd be difficult for Jesus to get in the way he's going. I know you probably disagree. You keep saying Jesus is going to come back in. But this lad's scoring goals, and his all-round play has improved so much. I think this is why, Scholes,
this is what's good about it. This is what I think Arsenal fans wanted to see. We are delighted that Jesus can take as much time as he wants to get himself back. But everybody's so pleased that Eddie's come in, and actually he is doing it. He's staking a claim. It's like when I got injured in '98, Nicolas Anelka came in and bam, just hit the road running. This is exactly what Eddie's doing. This is why it's important for him to score in these games.
He could be, that centre-forward position could be the difference between both teams today. If Nketiah's playing for United, it could be a totally different story.
Yeah, 7-7 now for Eddie Nketiah in all competitions. Were you ever doubting the fact that he could come up with those kind of numbers when he was drafted in?
I wasn't expecting those numbers, but I know that he's somebody that in the box, he gets himself in the box, and then it's up to him how he finishes. It's like last week, everyone was saying to me, he soon found out about him because against Tottenham, he had a bad touch. He should have scored with a ball that looped over, and he didn't have a good touch with the second chance that he had. I said, this guy is a poacher.
Finally, you can buy English football at a very low price. Enjoy Premier League and Champions League full replay matches, as well as analysis shows from Premier League TV, BBC, BT Sports, and Sky Sports. Uncut with full footage. Enjoy weekend reviews, previews, tactical analysis, and more. Join us today at the link in the description below, www.primeshows.net.
This guy, that's his room, where he is, where he works. in the box. And all the goals you see when he's on loan for England under 21s, he's in and around the box scoring goals. I didn't have no problems with him being in there. Whether or not he would take the chance was something that he was yet to prove. And now he's proven that he can.
I was just going to say, he had to prove himself at this level, didn't he?
Yeah.
Against the top club. Scoring against Man United, 2 goals today. That's massive.
That does it.
I think we can have a look at Nketiah's first goal, which obviously, got the ball rolling as far as Arsenal were concerned. How much of this was down to his movement more than
Well, it was all down to his movement. But again, Arsenal kept playing, kept this ball on this side until they worked it for Xhaka. And it's his movement. Again, like when he's in there, look, Wan-Bissaka, brilliant one-on-one, you know what I mean? He took his eye off of him for a second. He looks at him, but Eddie's doing what you do as a striker. Get yourself just out of his sight. You look at Wan-Bissaka, and he should get, he gets too square on. He's too square on now. He can't see where Eddie is, and bam, Eddie's in. And that is what you do as a striker. You look for the moment where you can make the dart, and that's what he's done there. Look, Wan-Bissaka, now he realises, oh my gosh.
He's not looking both ways, is he?
No.
The only small defence you have for Wan-Bissaka is on the other side.
Yeah.
He's in an unnatural position from there, so he's probably looking different ways. But he has to be looking at both things. He's got to be watching and catch all the time. And he's also got to be watching the ball. You've got to be on that side on, watching everything, you see everything, and he gets caught.
It's great striker play because that's the space you want. But you can't go too early. You have to time it brilliantly.
Sense of anticipation has to be key.
Absolutely brilliant. And then the higher you go, and this is what I'm saying against the top teams, like a defender like Wan-Bissaka, higher you go, and I found it in an international level, those defenders are halfway on, so they know when you're going to try and make that run. And so Eddie's done brilliantly to get in behind him there.
On the personal development side of things, when you're up against a Varane and Martinez, who've clearly been, an effective partnership for United this season, how good is that for Nketiah to get 2 goals there in a game like that?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's great for him to get got 2 goals against like a team like United. United are a big club, a big team, and those are the teams that you have to be scoring against. Because, like we said, look, Varane. Martinez, look, both of them, World Cup, they both played in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And what you want to see from someone like Eddie is that, he still give them those problems because they come into the box where it's then up to him to make his movement. It's like me, I wasn't bothered who I was playing against as long as Bergkamp and that was there, Vieira was there, because you're going to get the service and it's up to you to then execute.
Yeah, and I just want to credit his temperament, only because when he signed that long-term deal, I think it was about 5 years, it was only 2 or 3 days later that the club signed Gabriel Jesus. He could have quite easily have gone into his shell, right? Because that's the last thing you want once you've committed your long-term future to a club.
Yeah, I must admit, over the last year or so, you were probably expecting him to leave and try and get some first-team football. But this, as I say, since he's come in, I don't think I've seen better number 9 performances from anybody. I think he's been sensational. He looks a lovely lad as well, nice and quiet. He's not coming out shouting his mouth off. He could have been frustrated. I'm sure he was frustrated.
Yeah.
But I'm pleased for him, really pleased for him. Obviously, he scored goals against Manchester United, but he looks a great lad, and now we're beginning to see the very best of him. And look, it's going to be hard for him to come out of this team.
Yeah, and so the bandwagon continues for Arsenal. Let's just have a look at this. Compare their current Premier League campaign to one, of course, that goes down in history, which is the Invincibles of 03-04. Look at the points that have been won, 5 more. Obviously, then, it means that they're top of the table this time around, considering they were second at this stage back in that Invincible campaign. But also, Ian, I've got to ask you, they scored 10 more goals than they did compared to the Invincibles when they had Thierry Henry bagging 30 at the end of that campaign. Is that the one aspect that impresses you more than most?
Well, the goals are very much shared out. I think at the moment, Martin Odegaard is the top goal scorer, a midfield player. But there's goals shared out. I think then you got Saka, then you got Eddie, then you got Martinelli. So the goals are shared out, and you have to throw Xhaka in there. Xhaka's chipped in with a couple. So back in that, obviously Thierry was very much the main focal point of the goals and scoring all the goals. But now it's shared out. Everybody, like I said, it comes down to everybody knows where they're playing in that system, in the formation, and then it's up to the players to play well in the formation, and it's up to teams to try and stop them. And at the moment, they're getting it done.
Are they better than the Invincibles right now?
It's very difficult to say because
the Invincible team were boring. They drew drawing games.
The thing with this team,
anyone could play for a draw.
We had unbelievable individuals in the Invincibles, and I'm sure this team will be the first to say that they agree with that. But this team is one of the best teams togetherness I've seen for a long, long time for Arsenal.
What do you think, Paul?
It's a bit early to say that. I think if they go on and win league titles, then Yeah, brilliant.
Then I think you start to compare them. But like this team's very much as together as I've seen them.
That Arsenal team of them years, not just the Invincible, they were brilliant. They had absolutely everything. They could play football, they were men, they could fight you, they could play, like I said. Brilliant football team at the minute, but we're 19 games, are we in?
Yes.
We're 19 games into a good team. Now they've got to do that for not just the rest of this season, 3, 4, 5 years to get anywhere near his
But
team.
it says something that we're actually sat here comparing this current crop to 03-04.
Well, simply because of the way the season started, and like I said, for many weeks and that people are waiting for them to falter. Before this week, before Tottenham and then Man United, people were saying to me, well, we'll see how you get on with Tottenham in the derby, and then United who are playing well. And we've beaten both of those teams, so you have to wait for what people say next. All the team can do is beat the next team that comes up or make sure that they do not lose. That's what you have to do when you're where Arsenal are at the minute. That's what you have to do.
OK, let's go back to tonight's events. Into the second half, it was one apiece, of course, at the break. Arsenal then took the lead, and this was a special goal. I mean, we've seen some good goals tonight, but this from Bukayo Saka, this was quite something. Ian, you pointed it out when you saw it in real time. How far wide is he aiming initially?
Well, you're trying to start that outside the post, and I think that, again, this probably somebody's in David De Gea's way, because, like, where it goes in is starting. But Eriksen, you can't let him come. You can't let him come inside. You've got to get your body in his way, so he has to come back onto his right foot and maybe pass it out. You see David De Gea actually making a step to the left, because he's trying to get his position to see the ball. But when you see it from here, you can't really see how much that starts outside the post. But when we see it from behind the goal here, you can see it just now. You see McTominay, that started outside the post, and here it comes. And David De Gea makes a little move to the left, so he's really ain't got no chance of getting across for that.
Paul?
Yeah, at the time I thought the goal went in a little bit easy, but as Ian explains, from that angle behind the goal, it's a hell of a strike as well. It sets it out outside the post, as he said.
So maybe De Gea not as fault as you perhaps initially would have thought?
I don't think so. Maybe without the little jump to the left-hand side, he might have got to get a bit closer, but in the end he wasn't close. I think Eriksen has to do better. Letting Saka come on his left-hand side. That's why I thought Luke Shaw handled him quite well. He always showed him down the right-hand side. But that one mistake, one little error, and it's a goal.
OK.
Eddie, Bukayo, a tremendous win. Do those celebrations at the end suggest that you know that could be a really significant win as well?
Yeah, definitely. You can see how much it means to everyone. They're the only team that's beat us this season, so we really wanted to win today in front of our fans, and we know how big this win is for us, so that's how you can see we're so happy.
Eddie, was that desire shown in the pressure you put them under, particularly in the last 20?
Yeah, I think you could see how much we wanted to win, how bad we wanted it for ourselves, for our fans. So, we kept pushing and pushing, and thankfully we got the breakthrough.
But Carl, you show some character today as well. That's the earliest you've gone behind in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't easy. I think definitely wasn't our best start to a game. But we showed a lot of character. So I'm happy with how we responded, and we got the win in the end.
And how happy are you, having accepted the challenge pre-match, to join that elite group of gentlemen, Freddie Ljungberg and Thierry Henry, to score 3 consecutive times against Manchester United?
Yes, I'm happy I accepted the challenge. Hello Freddie, hello Thierry. I'm happy.
It was a beautiful goal, but how close were you to getting 2 today?
Oh yeah, I was so close, but I'm just happy, that I got that first one, and it gave me confidence to keep shooting. I think I had a lot of shots today, so next time hopefully another one will go in.
Eddie, you already off the mark, but then you had a couple of half chances. Was it a case of just keep knocking on the door for you?
Yeah, it's just being alert, being around. When you got guys that be around you, chances are going to fall. So obviously I had one with the left on the swivel, keep it safe, which obviously would have been nice to go in. But I just kept going. I knew that if I was around and alert, the way we're playing, we'll get a chance. And thankfully I was able to take it.
Be honest, how agonising was it when it went to VAR?
You know what? Me and B were speaking because I saw Martinez next to me, so I thought I was onside. But when you see that purple screen come up, your heart always goes a bit. So now I'm thankful that it went in.
He was onside. I could see he was onside. So
That's halfway through the season now. 50 points. This is Arsenal's best ever start to a season. What's the significance of that?
Yeah, that's really significant, and it's definitely something we can be proud of. But we have to stay humble at the same time, because we have, like you said, it's only halfway of the season. Things can change very quickly, but the way we're playing now, if we continue like that, we'll be in a good place at the end of the season. So we just have to keep it up.
What's behind the way you're playing now?
There's many things. I can be here for days explaining.
Give us a few.
Well, yeah, I think, of course, firstly, it's the belief we have, you know, especially when we come to the Emirates, the way our fans are supporting us. You know, I say again, we went 1-0 down and you can see the fans cheering for us. You know, they don't understand how much that does for us players, so that's one thing. And, yeah, definitely the way the coach is setting us up and